Hello, gentle people, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I happen to have a Shopify store, sparrowartvibes.boutique, and I also have an Etsy store, Sparrow Art Vibes Shop. My best-selling product in my Etsy store are my personalized dominoes. This set, pink and gold with name and Jamaican flag. I have this set done in the Trinidadian colors. I have this set done for Valentine's Day or any kind of time you want to talk about love. Again, this personalized set. So I have a whole variety. Dominoes here in the Jamaican flag colors, orange and yellow. So now I'm going to show you how I created this set of personalized dominoes. Again, that was a Valentine's Day gift. As you can see from the order online, the customer is purchasing a set of personalized dominoes with a matching storage box. She would like those dominoes created in red and gold. She would like the box to say Casey's House of Bones, and she would like the tiles to say Casey's Bones. Again, you can see at the bottom where it says, looking forward to getting these for my husband for Valentine's Day. So let's get started with the materials needed. We first of all need our resin mold for the dominoes, and then we need our resin. Of course, I use the Craft Smart, and this would be part A resin. Get it up a little bit. I guess I'll set it there. The part B hardener. I am going to mix these colors, measure in separate bowls, so we have the 2 small measuring cups and then 2 small paper cups. We have 3 stir sticks, and I'm recycling. I'm out of stir sticks, so I'm recycling, so that's why you see resin on those. Brand new pair of nitrile gloves. Okay, this is supposed to be, these dominoes are supposed to be red and gold, so we're going to be using this red, and that says WTRCSV. Don't know what that stands for. And because that red is a little lighter than I want, I'm going to be adding some Magic Fly cherry red to darken it. And then the gold, I'm going to be using the Eye Candy Oriya Gold. And I'm also going to be adding some Magic Fly Royal Gold. We will need our Deco Art Dura Clear Gloss Varnish. That's to paint the dominoes. And since this is going to be red and gold, we're going to do the names in a tomato red and a wine. And I believe that's it. We're getting ready to, or I'm getting ready to mix the resin. Again, I always mark on my measuring cup or bowl how much I need. We're going to do 100 milliliters of red and 100 milliliters of gold. So let's get this poured. Part B hardener, 50 milliliters. The Part A resin, 50 milliliters. You can actually mix 200 milliliters and then divide it. I find it easier to simply do 100 of one color, 100 of the other color, then I know the amounts are equal. You always mix your resin according to the manufacturer's instructions because the instructions vary from brand to brand. CraftSmart asks that you mix their resin for a minimum of 5 minutes, so I've set the timer to 5. I'm going to hit start and then fast forward. Okay, this will be the first time that I'm using the Eye Candy Oriya Gold, so we're going to get to see what this looks like. I've never used it before, but it does look sparkly. Ooh. And ordinarily I do not add mica powder to the resin in my measuring cups. I usually don't do that, but I'm doing it today just to sort of cut out a step. But this will be poured into the smaller cups just so I can manage pouring it easier. Alright, so that's the gold that's mixed. So now we need to mix resin for the red. So again, 50 milliliters of the part B. And then 50 milliliters of the part A. And this will be another 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm using this red. I don't really like this because when it's mixed, it has more of a pink tone to it and less of a red. So let me just put some in here and let you see what I'm talking about. To me, it has a pink. It's not red, it's a pinky red. So I'll mix this. And even when you add extra mica powder, the more you add, the darker, the deeper the color is. But on this, adding this just makes it more pink looking to me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like that. I like that it's pearlescent, but it doesn't look really red. And so to deepen it some, you can see the heat gun got to this. I am going to be adding some of the Magic Fly Cherry Red. And you can see from the containers the differences in these. So I'm going to add a little of the Cherry Red just to see if I can deepen it some. I don't want a bright red, but I don't want a dark red, but I don't want that pink looking. Well, that has more of the cherry. That cherry red was stronger. Now it's a little darker than I want. It's not redder, it's darker. Let me add a little more red. This is sort of trial and error here. because when I ran out of my other red, I went online and I bought this red, but like I said, it's not a true red, it's more pink. Alright, I think when it dries, that'll look nice. Okay. So I'm going to, it's difficult for me to pour from this size container, so I always transfer my resin to the smaller cups. It's easier for me to pour from the smaller cups than it is from the measuring cup, though I like that the measuring cup has the little spout on it. Ooh, I don't think that's dark enough either. That's really light. Let's add some more gold to that. And when I'm doing my dominoes, I like to use these cups because they have the lines on them, so they kind of serve as measures for me. So I know that I have the same amount of resin in each cup because I pour to that bottom line. Alrighty. Okay, and then we carefully try and pour roughly, make a little spout by squeezing your cups, and then we're going to carefully pour, try and pour equal amounts into each side. Like so. And if you do more of one, then slow down. I have more red, so I'm going to slow down to add more gold. And your lines won't be perfect, again, because you're pouring this. There's no divider in between to separate these colors. So these colors are being poured strictly by your eye-hand coordination. And this is just a process that you cannot rush. And then when I go to do the next row, I switch my cups. That way, if there are any drips, the drip from this will drip in red. So here, this way I don't have any of my gold getting into my red. So I switch the order of my cups. And you'll notice that these are not full because I go in and I put resin in each of the tile spaces, and then I go back and I add more and level it out. And that. Okay, and again we're going to switch so that if there's any gold that drips, it'll drip into the gold. Oops. I'm going to wipe that off. Oop, I've got gold in that. I can't switch, so I'm going to have to be super careful because I already put gold in that one. So let me turn my cup this way. That was my little test tile to see if the gold was dark enough. Okay, now that they've all been poured, it's just a matter of going back in and leveling these out some. So I want to move that red line back on that one. Move the red line back on that one a little bit. Move that. And again, what I'm trying to do is level these out in terms of how much resin is in each tile, but also to try and straighten out these lines. Heat gun to pop any air bubbles. I'm going to cover this right now and leave it for about 4 hours. And then we're going to come back and we're going to pour a solid gold layer across the top. And then this is personalized, so the lettering will be in red. We're going to take the cover off of this and we're going to pour our background gold layer. And so you see what this looks like. And so now we need another 100 milliliters. So we are going to do the same thing we did before. So we are going to pour 50 milliliters of the Part B hardener. $50 milliliters of the Part A resin. Whee. And as always with the Craft Smart, our mixing time is 5 minutes. Okay, so now we want to add some more of this Red Gold. And this is pretty light, so I'm being generous here because we need this to be dark enough that the red doesn't easily show through. Okay, so let's test this and see how dark that is. I need a darker gold to add to that. I have this rich gold. I'm going to add a little bit of this rich gold to this to darken it some. See if we make this a little bit darker. Okay, so now we simply are going to pour the background color on here. Oh yeah, that's good. Some mica powder spilt in there. Oh, that's nice. That's pretty. And so now I'm just going back, leveling these out. So heat gun to pop the air bubbles. And when you're doing this, pay close attention to the edges. Make sure there are no bubbles along the edges. And that looks... Alrighty, so we'll cover this and leave this to cure. I don't know, what time is it? I may or may not be able to put the lettering on tonight, but let's assume we're going to let this cure overnight. It is the next day. I got busy and didn't come back in here last night, so we're going to just take the cover off of this. That looks good. I wish the gold were a little bit darker so you don't see the red cast through there, but that's okay. I am now going to go get on my Cricut Joy I'm going to cut out the lettering that goes on here, attach the lettering, and then we'll do the clear coat. Okie dokie. I'll see you in a bit. All right, off camera, I finished applying the vinyl names to the tiles, and so now what we're going to do is do the clear coat to seal the lettering. And so we need 100 milliliters of resin. Again, cup is marked 50-50, so let's do this. So we need 50 milliliters of the Part B hardener. And then 50 milliliters of the Part A resin. Craft Mart instructions say stir or mix for 5 minutes. So we're going to turn on our timer. I am going to begin stirring and then just fast forward through this. So now all we're going to do is just pour the clear coat on each of these. Okay, and then we pop any air bubbles with the heat gun. It's early in the day, so I'll be able to come in here early this evening, pop these out of the mold, and then paint the pips. But right now we're going to cover this to allow that clear coat to cure. It is the evening, and these I'm sure are well cured, so we'll take the cover off. Those are pretty. I like that. So now we're just going to turn these out of here. Anybody who's watched any of my videos knows my table is uneven, so a couple of these had some overflow, and I see that these two are connected. See that? So we're just going to cut that. And then take our cuticle cutter. I guess you can see that edge. Let me get up. I need to get new camera equipment so you can see the overflow. And so we're just going to go through and check them all. There are only a few like this, I believe. But we're going to trim that off. And then we're going to work on our dots and our pips. Okay. So cuticle cutters, these are wonderful. And when I finish, I go back and sand the edges on all of these anyway, just making sure there's nothing that I need to Good. Okay. So now we are going to do the pips or dots and lines. And so I am using my Deco Art Gloss Varnish. And I'm going to fill these 2 containers. Or mostly fill, I guess, not fill, mostly fill. And then I'm using a different gold mica powder. I am using the Magic Fly Royal Gold. Mix that. And these little bowls are perfect for and these little bowls are perfect for a small amount like we have here. And then to this, I am going to add some of the Araya Gold, which is what these are actually made of. So it's gold and sparkly. And you don't really have to worry about working time with the varnish. It's not like resin. So that's my gold. And then I'm using the Magic Fly Scarlet Red. And again, these reds are just like hard to get a true red. Again, this Scarlet Red has a similar pink tint to that original red I used on the dominoes and on the box. So again, I want that a little darker, so I'm going to add we had mixed the red and the cherry red to try and deepen that. So I'm going to do the same thing now. Add a little bit of cherry red to this. Just to take that pink tint off of it. I don't like that it looks pinky. That's better. That's better. If you've seen any of the other videos where I've done dominoes, you will see me using the, what's this thing? What do you call this? I forget what you call this. This is for rhinestones. This is to attach rhinestones to something. Put the rhinestone on it and plug it. But a couple of weeks back, I had several orders for dominoes and said I need to figure out a better or faster way to do this. So I went on Amazon and I purchased these small disposable squeeze bottles, and these work like really well, really easy. So after I mix my little bit of gold color into my varnish, I then pour it into this bottle. And we'll pour the other one into this bottle. And since these little measuring bowls are so small and have a spout, all you have to do is pour. But this package actually comes with small funnels that you can stick into the bottle if you're pouring from a larger container. But obviously I didn't need the funnel. Okay, so now the fun begins. Actually, let me take this darn thing off. This is in the way. Okay, and so we are just going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. The biggest dilemma always is what color to paint the line. Yeah, when you have several sets of dominoes to do, you're trying to find a more efficient way to do it. And I decided maybe some small squeeze bottles, because I was using the one for my hair color anyway. I was using, where is it? I was using this Root, what is it? Root Rescue, this L'Oreal Root Rescue bottle that I put my hair color in. But these little bottles are great because they have a needle nose tip, so it fits right into the lines. Those are sticky. And I see people paint their dots with acrylic paint. You can do that, but again, And acrylic paint is for all intents and purposes permanent, but varnish, the varnish behaves more like resin, and this varnish is permanent. And let me show you. And this Dura Clean Gloss Varnish is permanent, and it says on the back, if you can read that, it says covers approximately 62 square feet indoor and outdoor, water-based, permanent. And that's what we want, something that's permanent. And the really nice thing about these little bottles, again, they come with a strap so you can keep your cap attached. But where I have a little bit of varnish left in there, it's not going to dry because this little holder, I'm putting it on backwards? I'm putting it on backwards. Okay, let's try that again. Comes with a little airtight seal, so you can save this for future use. Alrighty, so now let's move these over, and let's do no red on that one. And so now we can do these lines just like that. This fits right in there. That's perfect. I still don't think that's really dark enough, but it'll do. Maybe I want the lines in gold. Let me see. I didn't do this line. Let's... Well, 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. If this was live, I'd ask you which color do you like the best. Well, you can't really know, you don't really see the gold on this gold, so I guess we're gonna not go with the gold. We'll stick with the red. I'm gonna have to go wash that off. All right, we'll stick with the red. Yeah, I was really surprised at how many dominoes I saw online on Etsy where that dividing line had not been painted. But this little needle nose makes this super easy to do, because it fits right down in that groove. And one more. Okay, so just double checking to make sure I didn't miss any. Got them all. Reds, 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 reds. All right, that's it. We'll let these dry for a couple of hours. Oh, I forgot one. Remember, I have to go wash this off, get rid of this gold on here. Let me grab my trusty toothbrush. I'll run it under the water and then just brush that out. Okay, just making sure that's dry. These rhinestone thingies, I don't even know what the name of this is, but my rhinestone thingy. Now that's the last one. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. We're going to, well, wipe this off. Be sure to wipe it before you put the little cover on it. And that's that for now. And I'll be back in a little bit. And what I'll do is just take the Dremel and just run around the edge of this, and then we'll varnish it with that clear varnish. Alrighty. To finish the dominoes, we need to just sand that top edge on every one of them. Even if there was no overflow, I sand the edges to make sure that they're not sharp. I like when I'm holding them that the edges are nice and smooth. So I'm going to use my Dremel. When I started, I used to do it by hand using that a sanding sponge, but discovered the Dremel was much faster, much easier. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my Dremel, get my mask. We have painted the pips or the dots and the lines on all of these. We did that yesterday. And so now all I'm going to do is just sand this edge along here to make sure it's smooth. Even if I didn't have any overflow, I still sand the edges because again, I like these to be have a nice finished look to them. So I'm going to sand these edges and then I'm going to varnish the sides and then we will actually be through. When I'm sanding, I usually have my vacuum cleaner hose close by so that it can catch some of the dust that goes into the air or minimize the amount of dust that goes into the air. So let me get started. And now I just wipe these off, get all the dust off of them. So the last thing I do to finish off my dominoes after I have sanded that edge to make sure that's nice and smooth is I then go over that edge with the Deco Art Dura Clear Gloss Varnish. I like this stuff. So I just squeeze a little varnish in my little bowl here. Take my paint. I then take my paintbrush and I just paint these edges. I find that having to pay attention to detail, like painting the pips on these dominoes, is sort of therapeutic, because when you are doing this, you really free your mind of any of the days, weeks, months. Just, you can't think of anything else when you're doing this. So I know someone had said that my videos were showed too much stuff that wasn't really important, and I disagree with that. I think people need to actually see all of what's required for you to produce a high quality product. And if people are purchasing and they see your video, then they have a better understanding of why you're pricing your product the way you are, because then they get to see the time. They may not appreciate it, but they at least can see, oh yeah, this takes longer than I thought it would. If I'm in the right place for you to see how when you sand, you wind up with that kind of white edge, and so when you put the varnish on it, that white edge just disappears. And like I All right, that's the last one. So there you have them. Once the varnish dries, I will take a few pictures and then I will be ready to package these for shipping. I guess I'll show you that too, how I package them. We are through. For shipping, so let me show you. I have this plastic bag and I stick a piece of cardboard in here and I put my business card on the bottom. I flip this bag over and then I put my dominoes in the bag. And then I have a piece of parchment paper that I put in here to separate the two stacks. That's because when I was shipping in the summertime, a lot of the postal trucks, well, actually none of the postal trucks, believe it or not, the postal trucks have no air conditioning. And they're building a new fleet, they're purchasing a new fleet, but the ones that they have no AC in them. The ones that are currently in operation. And because the trucks get so hot, I was concerned that my dominoes would stick to each other, and so that's what made me start adding the parchment paper so the rows wouldn't stick. And then once I have them in the bag, I try and even them out a little bit. Even my stacks out like so. And then this is what I love to watch. Shrink wrap. Turn on my heat gun. I love that. Turn it around to the other side. I'm working on branding. If you purchase something off of Etsy and you show it to someone and they like it and they say, where did you get it from? Most of the time you'll say you got it off of Etsy. Rarely does the customer remember the name of the shop that they purchased it from. And so I'm trying to work on branding. So I just printed off of my printer these little straps. I call them wrapping straps, and I just wrap that around there and tape that so that they know where these came from. Sparrow Art Vibes. And then I place the dominoes in the box. And these little airbags are really cool because I put that in there and then the dominoes won't move. Oops. I add a little piece of cardboard in the back to keep this from sinking. I put a rubber band around this. Ooh. And same thing, I have another wrap that I actually put on the box. And then I wrap the box in tissue paper. I purchased my boxes flat in bundles of 25, and then I simply have to open them up, put them together, and tape them closed. And then I place my box. Turn this way. You can see that's almost a perfect fit. Because there is a little space on each side and you don't want this to move during shipping, I then add brown paper. I have this big old roll of brown paper. And then I just crunch up the brown paper. If this were a charcuterie board, it would have been wrapped in bubble wrap. With each package that I send out, I always add a little thank you token, either a wine bottle or in this case a wine glass that I simply place on the package. This is a gift, and the recipient told me what they wanted on their gift card. I include a gift card. So this I actually print on my computer, a gift for you, and then when they tell me what they want on their card, I print it out. So the gift card goes into the box, and then I have this thank you card professionally printed at Vista Print. Drop that in there. Then I add their packing slip, and that's just in the event that for some reason a box might unexpectedly open or the label come off or whatever, we know where it's going. We close this up. And then I tape the label. And again, to work on branding, to make sure they know where they purchased this so that they don't keep saying Etsy, I also had these stickers printed to go on my box. And that says, "You're gonna love what's inside." And then one more piece of tape on this one. And this is ready for the post office. And that's how it's done.